Hello, hello, beautiful people of the internet. Hello, Rufin, Mastomaticus, Despotsini, Igladub, and Tiwian. Karskin, thank you for the subscription, very much appreciated. Corvus Korak, Fulio, Not Delusional, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome, one and all. Today's the day. The only thing that's going to happen on this stream is a whole bunch of preamble, prepping for the final fight of the entire campaign, and then the fight itself. So, pretty exciting. We'll go ahead and load into the game, and I've got a whole list. I have a small list of all the things to make note of, to think about, to plan for. Monolith plus perk tier list afterwards. Maybe. Hello, Choppy Cat. Hello, Just Nom. So, brothers and sisters, 880 hours, 3 minutes, and 24 seconds ago, real world time, this adventure began. And today we end it. Some Spire action while watching the Slurgy wreck this mono was a good Saturday. That's a good Saturday. That's a good Saturday. All right, so we're gonna, on my little list of things we're going to do to prep for this fight, I have in order, and we'll kind of talk about them. Is Scottaboosh afraid? Overall strategy, shields, question mark, holy water / combo, positioning with 3 sub points, 2x top duo question mark, tactician skills, loot question mark, another new bullet point, extra sword lance for durability question mark, bandages / consumables, shrooms, and dogs. So we're gonna need to sort through all of those. So first things first, Scottaboosh is still afraid. Shit. So, in the last stream, I commented, "Oh, good, Scottaboosh became armor opt." Oh yeah, that's a given, Rufin. I guess. Yeah, no, we'll optimize for armor for sure. I guess it's not on the list, but it's on the list. And armor optimization is an interesting one because it depends on where the brother's located. I have some thoughts on that. We'll talk about it in a moment. Anyway, in the last stream I mentioned that, I was glad that this event procced, that Scottaboosh became afraid because it was going to wear off by the time we got to Monolith. It's still here. So, don't forget meditating to visualize your success. I actually do that in general. Like, I imagine myself doing things before I do them. That is very ingrained into how my brain works. Though the word visualize, I guess, is a funny. I can't articulate why or what other people do compared to what I do. But I do imagine myself going through the motions of anything, for example, like a musical performance. That's the most common one. That's the one that's the most, like, natural, I guess, for me. So, do we have a backup save for the team review in case we, Actually, that's a good idea. Just, I don't think this will be necessary, but let's actually do that. That's a good idea. Despotsini? Okay, I have a backup save now. I think that's... You know what? Right. Let's have one. Just in case. Just for reference. Just for reference. Since this is not a deathless run, maybe give shoutouts to the brothers and analysis of the builds. We can... Tell you what. In Tiwian, there's 2 things. One is that I think the mod that shows their stats, extended stats, we can't test it now because our obituary is clean. But I think that still shows up in their obituary. And you know what? We can go back and load that backup save that I just created if we need to. So we've got that. Yeah, even if we win but some brothers die, it might be useful. Yeah, for sure. We about to fight the final fight? Here soon. There's going to be a lot of prep here. So before we talk about, like, you know, how we're going to equip the squad for the fight, what armors we're going to put on, how we're going to have each unit's loadout, we're going to put them in the formation. Let's talk big picture about strategy. So in vanilla, there's a handful of different approaches, but a lot of them rely on one core idea of a northern flank tank that goes either moves forward to make sure they occupy the conqueror or moves backward to pull a bunch of units away. There's a different ways of doing it, but you've got like one northern flank tank whose whole purpose is to just live as long as possible and not die. I think even if I could build the perfect team, air quotes around that, you know, the perfect team for the specific fight, I think that one individual unit on the northern flank still probably isn't the way to go in this mod, because the Ancient Honor Guard just, they're like a lawnmower, right? I think they do so much more damage than the Legionaries, and I think that because they have formidable approach, it is an inevitability that if that unit can't hit back to cancel formidable approach, that they're doomed, and they are on a too short of a timer for that to be relevant. So that's just a random, not really relevant because we don't have a solo individual lone wolf tank anyway. I think you'd have to get your melee defense to like absurd levels that may not even be possible to be able to reach low enough hit chance against Ancient Honor Guard with formidable approach. I haven't done the math on it. I don't even actually know exactly what their melee skill is, but I think it's unfeasible, right? But that said, you know, we've got our tank duos with Helmfried and Slice the Elder alongside Master Maticus and Dr. Vishnevsky, who I think with the power of rotation, being able to cancel formidable approach, can withstand for a while. It's 90? Okay, 90 plus 15 for formidable approach. So you'd have to have like shield expert, right? So they'd have to cancel the enemy's ability to gain reach advantage. So that would mean you'd need 50 plus 55 times 2 melee defense minus 5 to get to where you can get them to a 5% hit chance. So you're looking at like 150 basically to really kind of get there. That's not possible, right? So does Aphantasia block manifesting the victory? Oh no. We can imagine anything we want. We can imagine anything we want, I guess, except if you can see it. I don't know how brains work. I don't know how your brains work. Anyway. No, we can still manifest. We can still manifest. So, let's talk about what the enemy looks like before we kind of talk about our overall strategy. Oh yeah, I guess the other thing we could do... Well, no, let's talk about the enemy composition, and then I think this will all make sense. So, all of the Ancient Honor Guards and the Conqueror and the Ancient Priests are on the northern flank, or or up, however you want to imagine it, right? So they're above us. Those are the enemies that have the highest damaging weapons, like by far. And, you know, that's where the priests are. And we'll put a pin in that. We'll kind of talk about that later. Whereas the main line is going to be the units that have the spears and shields and the Reaper's scythes. So those weapons have lower damage, but those units are hard to take down, right? So they're gonna hang around obnoxiously. And then behind them are Necrosavants and a Necrosavant Lord. Saying our brains work is offensive to our less brained brothers. True. But Mystic Nemo's got a fun hat on. So, how do you maintain your love for this game after so many hours? It's a good game. You just keep finding the depth in it. I don't know, that's it. It's the game that keeps on giving. Though after this particular run, I am going to take a bit of a Battle Brothers break so that I don't get too burned out. Okay, so when we're thinking about the whole enemy composition, I think there's a few different approaches. We can, you know, if we had enough fatigue on the brothers, we could run a certain direction, and for example, we could run the whole squad if we got our fatigue low enough, or excuse me, high enough, our armor was light enough. We could have everyone run like 4 hexes up and to the left, 4 hexes up and to the left, and then make it so that we maybe engage the Ancient Honor Guards first before the other legionaries and stuff, because those are the ones we want to kill because they're the big damage dealers. That actually might be a good approach. I don't know. The downside to that is we would activate the Ancient Priests to put Horrify on like our clumps of units, and I don't think we want that. But I don't know, right? I've thought about that, and that seems reasonable, right? That seems reasonable. I don't think I'm gonna do that. But if this fails, maybe the backup save could be referenced. So, yeah. A prolonged break from Battle Brothers, so no new run for like 2 weeks. Well, you know, we don't know how long it'll last. We don't know how long it'll last. So anyway, I think the plan will be, the most important thing, my thought is, I think, but don't know, that the Ancient Priest's Horrify ability either changed, or maybe our particularly low resolve has caused us problems, but in the fights where we fought against Ancient Dead, it sure seemed like Horrify was extra effective. It sure seemed like it disabled the bros more frequently than it does in vanilla. Maybe there's something to that. I don't know. But regardless, we don't want that to be able to hit our main line. Also, you know, we've got a bunch of bros who just don't have very much hit points. They cannot sit and fight in Stinky Cloud for as long as it takes to beat the Ancient Dead down. So I think my strategy will be put our 2 duos, Helmfried and Slice the Elder, alongside Master Maticus and Dr. Vishnevsky along that top flank. So I think that's going to be how I will do it. The other thing that's nice about that is I want them to remain in range of our tactician skills from Fosse 254 and Curse Word, and I think we can arrange the squad such that that's possible. Dr. Vishnevsky's so dead. Yeah, oh, also, I plan on putting a little bit of a gap so that these brothers, Dr. Vishnevsky, Master Maticus, and then Helmfried and Slice the Elder, gain the benefit from the dynamic duos plus 20 resolve and initiative. So, I think that's going to be the plan. So, before we figure out gear and stuff like that, and how we're going to arrange the squad, blah, blah, blah. Excuse me, then let's figure out how we're going to arrange the squad. So I think what I'm going to do is we're going to just pull this all to the right, 1 hex, and we'll maybe adjust this. Right, and we'll have these 2 brothers, you know, these sets operate together. So Helmfried and Slice the Elder are a duo. And then Master Maticus and Dr. Vishnevsky are a duo. And I do want to make sure that we're able to put them in range. Scottaboosh, thank you for the Prime sub. Very much appreciated. So probably something like this, right? And then we'll have them sort of split off as we need them to. They'll just sort of move up. And I'm going to have them kind of, again, with 1 hex where they're not occupying, getting in the way, but a little space. So I think we do want to have Fosty 254 nearby here. I think we'll move these two up like a little bit. So let's go this way. And I want to keep our phalanx together. I think that's still true. And we sort of want the Necro Savants to either jump on the side with the tanks. I think that's totally fine. Or onto Scottaboosh. So even though he's maybe going to take some resolve hits, right? If they move into zone of control, keeping in mind that he also has Entrench, so his number in combat will actually be different from this. I think we still want him nearby because he's got not only the Bearded Blade for disarm, which is going to be potentially really effective and important against the Necro Savants, but also has, you know, access to a 2-turn stun with this mace. So that's pretty good. We're still going to use those weapons. We probably will remove the crossbow, but we'll kind of talk about that a little bit. And some of this is going to be, you know, iterated on. I might change how we're set up here. And I don't really like the idea of both of the rotation bros being on this side of the formation. So we could move one over here, but I think it'll be okay. They can sort of... we're not going to need rotations at the beginning of the fight. Like the rotation skill rotations. Obviously, we're still going to be using our dynamic duo. But I'm going to keep them over here. I think that'll be a good idea. So we're still going to basically, essentially do our sit still, buff up the team, start. And what I might do then... So the range of curse word goes to here. Yeah, I'm gonna have curse words start out using a hold steady on the first turn, and we're gonna have a delayed one from Fosty 254. Is that true? Maybe not. So what I'm thinking about is how and where we're going to use the holy water. Now, the holy water matters less in this compared to vanilla. In vanilla, one of the nice things about the holy water is if you hit the ancient legionaries, they're dead, right? And you can use throw holy water and then like sort of scoot and shoot and actually plan it so that when they arrive to your front line, they immediately die, which is perfect because then you get the morale boost from it. Or the potential positive morale check. They have too much hit points in this. But I'd like, if possible, for Fosty 254... Yeah, I think I'll have him open with a hold steady, because what we can do is, once we rotate, we can hold steady and throw the Flask of Blessed Water. Flask of Blessed Water. Blast of Flesked Water. So once we use combo, this will go down to 3 AP, and then hold steady will be 6. But we need to, let's see, so hold steady is 32. This is 20. So 20 plus 32, we're looking at 52. So we need 52 fatigue. The Blast of Flesked Water. How fat is the dog? The dog is 3. We've got the dog on the bros with combo, but it may not belong on Fosty 254. One of them probably on Scottaboosh is still right. The other one's probably going to move. I don't think I want to change any of this armor out. I think we leave this on Fosti 254. We could probably get rid of his pole hammer. And this gets us there. I also want to make sure that the holy water is like somewhat evenly distributed. I almost want his fatigue to be even lower though. Because I want him to be able to use the shadow. Actually, hold up. Let's take a look at something. He'll recover 18 fatigue per turn. We want him to be using the shatter ability. Maybe we end up giving him this. I think that's fine. And we may end up changing some things, right? Gear on other bros. So I'm not going to be too particular about it right now. But Fosti 254... we'd like him to have just a little bit more fatigue. I suppose there's not a way of doing it, is there? Unless I gave him a different helmet. I could have him just wear a full helm. But I think I want to sacrifice the 3 weight to gain 10 resolve. That feels more important. He doesn't have to be the one to throw the flask. He probably won't be. But I actually might still get rid of his pole hammer. Because I think he's just going to be engaged in melee the whole time. If he needs to pick up a reach weapon later, he just will. If he gets that low. This is a very durable brother. So I don't anticipate needing to use a reach weapon, like if he gets too low and we sort of bail him out. I think we would just want to use the hold steady for 32 and keep maximal fatigue for the shatters. He's not going to build up that much fatigue from being attacked. And he does have iron lungs. So who would we give the flasks of blessed water to? So the Chaucer's a good choice. Right, we're probably going to swap this weapon. Though maybe not, right? Because he does have maybe some anti-necrosavant duties. Even still, we probably still end up going with the noble sword. The lunge can be useful, but I think this is just more general purpose. We'll probably just end up doing this on the Chaucer. And Scottaboosh, we've got the question of he's got ready to go. So we can start with 1 crossbow bolt preloaded. That still could be useful for fighting the necrosavants, right? Especially as part of a whole combo maneuver. So I probably will leave the heavy crossbow. I think we like the spiked bolas. And we can give him a flask of blessed water as well. We could maybe give one of the flasks to Helmfried. Why not? He can start out combat on the very top part of the formation, just throwing one of these. We'll start with that, and if we need to iterate or change, we will. Right, I think that's reasonable though. And let's see, do I put the pole hammer back on Fosti 254? Are we eating all mushrooms? We will. I'm gonna do that last because that's irreversible. Once you eat the mushrooms, the mushrooms are in your system. There's no going back from that trip. So we're gonna do that at the very end once every other decision has been finalized. But yeah, we're gonna eat mushrooms. We're gonna eat mushrooms. Holy 370 armor. Yep. He's got the breastplate harness with the nipple clamps. Strong boy. His Battle Forged is making him take 33% less armor damage from attacks. Pretty good. Pretty good. Okay. So going down the list, because I think these are kind of in order. I guess I sort of skipped over with Holy Water / combo. Oh yeah, I got the other dog. Where did I end up putting that? We still got it on Fosse 254? And none of the trophies are relevant here. Right, Goblin Trophy and Orc Trophy don't do anything. You know, actually, I think we'll probably end up putting it on Curse Word if I were to guess. I think we're almost never going to do it. Despite the fact that Fosse 254 has combo, so we can do it with AP efficiency. The dog is mostly going to be a unit that we put down after we fight the Necro Savants just to occupy a specific hex. Unfortunately, they're just going to be little meat shields. Are we taking the loot? I think so. I think we will. But first, let's talk about shields. So there's a couple different things I want to talk about with shields. Could also be used as necrobait to save bros. Yeah, we could. The downside to using the dogs as Necro Savant bait is that then the Necro Savants heal up by killing the dog, since they heal from their HP damage. So we could. Right? That Necro Savants can't help it. They love attacking dogs because they're sickos. Anyway, so let's talk about shields. So Master Matic is here. We've got and we also don't carry out pocket daggers really at all on almost anyone. So we're gonna remove those where they're irrelevant, which is gonna be most places. In fact, why don't I just preemptively remove pocket daggers? And we'll put them back only if we care about them on that particular brother. Because seriously, they're not going to be that relevant. Am I out of inventory space? Okay, well, whatever. Is there any brother that would want to have a dagger, like for sure? Fosse 254 does. And he's got his equipped. Just put this here. But they don't weigh anything, so they don't hurt anything. Okay. So now that the daggers are removed, what was the thing I was looking at? Oh yeah, shields. So there's no reason why Master Maticus has to have a heater shield. Just because he doesn't plan on using shield wall. Again, to reiterate, the plan, or the way this brother works, is Helmet of the Idrok is protecting our head, protecting that little bean, and our hit points are being protected by a combination of one with the shield, brace for impact, and nimble, and 9 lives. Right, so that's protecting our body. And one with the shield, we want to not be shield walling, so that we take less hit point damage from attacks to the body. And this helmet's going to protect us. I'm not worried about the helmet getting destroyed or taking HP damage through this helmet. That's not going to happen. That would take an absurd number of hits before we would get there. This brother just sits there and does riposte. That's all he does. That's his whole thing. That's his whole shtick. So we could go with a named shield that has more than 25 melee defense, if we wanted to have him use it instead of a different brother. Do I even have one of those? I guess I have the one. This Hardened Safeguard. We don't care about range defense at all in this fight. Or the Famed Ward. I think the benefit there is minimal since it's only exactly 1. We'll probably leave those on that brother, especially since when they have shield wall up, they're going to be doubling that bonus. So I think we're going to leave it as this this thing, or do we care about, is this better? No, these are like the same. They both have durability and range defense, okay. But we can still have him start out with this heater shield with the company's logo on it for a little bit of an extra bonus resolve. You love to see it. We care about his resolve. He cannot break to enemies making zone of control checks. He cannot break or lose his spirit to the horrify ability. These things cannot happen. So, as high a resolve as possible. Can we report the Jedi? Yeah. Apples and Fruits is now a Jedi Master. I agree, Despozzini. It's a good fight for it. But even when enemies do little plonky attacks to the shield, 32 durability is still potentially going to break. So I'm going to keep a backup. I think that's a good idea. And a bandages here on Master Maticus, I think it's worth the 1 fatigue cost. He may end up getting use of it. And then as far as sword is concerned, this one's got good enough armor penetration. This is probably going to be the one we want to use here. Unless, would we rather give that to the Chaucer? I think the answer to that is yes. I guess I would have wanted to spend tools fixing up the malicious razor. Actually, is that even true? Nah, we're just gonna parry with this thing. What's the durability on that? Parry weapons break from time to time? Yeah, so 62, I think he's good. He's good. But yeah, just Nama's got a very good consideration. Parry weapons do lose durability when you block. I don't think the Chaucer's gonna get attacked too much, so I think I'm okay putting this here. Okay, so I think that's good. So then looking at the other shields, one thing we can also consider is that these brothers, who are part of the Phalanx, we're gonna keep them together so that they keep their shields up nice and high. But it might be worthwhile to keep a pocket shield explicitly for making it so that one with the shield changes from protecting their head to protecting their body. So a situation I can envision is one of these brothers gets hit more than we expect on a particular turn. We don't want them to move away from wherever they're standing, for whatever reason. We may want to swap shields just to change where one with the shield is protecting them. Now, keeping a pocket shield has a fatigue cost. Is that worth it? I don't know. So let's sort of work that out. I think Apples and Fruits in particular, since he has nimble, pretty high hit points, and lots of fatigue to work with, is probably the bro who it would make the most sense to have a pocket heater shield. You could also pay 4 AP for the extra unequip. Sure, right? So we could pay 4 AP to unequip, 4 AP to re-equip, and that would drop our shield wall. That's another option instead of a pocket shield. That's absolutely true, right? But that means, well, no, I guess we can drop it on the ground. I was gonna say it means keeping the extra slot empty, but I guess that's not even true. So it's basically, do we want to have a pocket shield to save that, the 4 AP? Probably not. Right, we're looking at like an extra 8 fatigue, like in this case, or an extra 6 for the famed carapace. So they might not have the AP if, for example, they go to fleeing, and then we're able to rally them or something. I guess that's starting to get to compounding unlikely scenarios. 6 doesn't sound bad. 6 doesn't sound bad. But basically only very explicitly for apples and fruits only. Could even be down to 5 with this thing. It's a very light shield. Would also drop the allies' phalanx. Potentially, yeah. Yep. So it's not something we want to do lightly. It's basically like a last-ditch emergency protect specific body part. And it does have downside, because when they drop their shield wall intentionally, even though they protect one body part better, they're more likely to get hit. So I'm not sure if that's even worth the cost, even under the circumstances I'm describing. I think it would only be apples and fruits. I think the bros that have medium armor, probably we don't bother. We may end up moving this thing too. We'll talk a little bit about gear movement here after we sort of figure out the ideal arrangement of the shields. I think I'll probably just leave it as is. I think we may end up deciding we want some of these shields on a different spot. Let's see. Maybe not. You don't think it makes sense unless you go from a round shield to a heater shield and lose only 5 MDef? Yeah, I think that's probably true. Right? I think in these cases, these shields are so good that the bonus provided from them plus shield wall is really high. So I think it's probably, and I don't think there's any risk of these breaking over the course of the fight. These are so durable. That's just never happening. I think they're good. So we can ask the question of, do we want to have anyone have a pocket shield? Right? So would it be worth on any brother to have a pocket shield? Maybe. Right? It's possible. Probably not, though. I think it's just very unlikely we would want that. Okay. Okay, so down the list, positioning, I guess I already talked about that. So I think I'm going to do the 2 duos up top, and that's how we're going to start it. So the way I'm envisioning the battle to start is basically the same as all the other fights, right? We're going to have Fosti 254 rotate forward. He's going to use hold steady, which will hit everyone except for Antiwian. Antiwian's just going to have to live with it. And then we're going to have Curse Word use Adrenaline to do Onslaught. So he'll need a dagger, actually. Shunk. Unless, actually, do I want to have him have the dagger, or do I want to give him like a actual attacky weapon to help deal with Necro Savants? Honestly, even the Rondel's not bad for Necro Savants, since it has the 3 AP attack. It's not even that much lower than this Malicious Razor. Well, maybe we go with this. We'll let it fix up a tiny bit of durability. Or we could even do... Well, we'll see. We'll see. How much does the whip weigh? Would we ever consider that giving that to curse word? Weight of 6. I don't know. That's interesting. Weight of 6 is interesting. Sir Aridin, all of the systems you're talking about are different, so I wouldn't even worry about it. It's about having reach advantage. There's no bonus hit chance with swords. If you haven't been following along, I don't think a lot of the things are going to look superficially similar to vanilla, but can just confuse you. So, no, you're good. I'm just letting you know that I don't mean to ignore your suggestions. It's just that they're, the systems are different. Systems are different. You're good. I just didn't want you to feel ignored when I was like, but yeah. Anyway, okay. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think we would want to use the whip. I'm not sure. I mean, maybe. Right? I think the whip is kind of interesting because the Necro Savants are gonna probably attach onto somewhere that's gonna be further away from curse words. So like maybe. I could see that being relevant. We may end up not doing the heavy crossbow though. He doesn't have ready to go. So like we probably don't bother there. And in fact, this brother may end up doing, right, I think on curse word, there would probably be turns where we'd want to play some music, pull out the banner. And that's his turn. A gun would be amazing. Why haven't you got one? I don't think the gun would be amazing. I don't think so. We did have one, but I think by the time we would want to use it, I don't think it is relevant enough. Yeah, let's just go with the whip on curse word. I think the fact that this inflicts bleeding is good enough for the Necro Savants. Yeah, we had 2 at one point even. Yeah, I don't think we're gonna bother. So then I guess we don't need the quiver. 90 ranged attack, bro, playing music, oof. Yeah, I mean, the other thing is we can give him the heavy throwing axes. Yeah, the bleed is not particularly good. The bleed is not particularly good. I don't know who else would play music. Why no crossbow? For what? Skeletons? If the plan is for me to play music for the team, I want to apologize now for my... I'm mostly thinking like there will be a point in the battle where the battle standard does not that much damage. So the nice thing about the battle whip though is even though the damage is low, it can finish off an enemy after 9 lives is procced. And the reach is good, right? Being able to hit, or range, I should say. The range of 3 tiles is pretty relevant. Nah, I think that will be better. I mean, we could also give him like heavy throwing axes, but without the throwing mastery, it's pretty insanely expensive, right? This brother doesn't have the throwing mastery perks. I think the whip will end up being more useful even if our range skill is higher than our melee skill. The damage on the heavy throwing axes is good. I mean, we would like to equip it. Right, so the song maybe isn't even good enough. Yeah, it's got a radius of 4. It's the same as the battle standard. You know, I was thinking like one line could be that we start out with the loot equipped, and then if the play battle song was only 4 AP, then we could have done play battle song, weapon swap, adrenaline, and then we can use our oh no, these don't share anything, right? Yeah, we still can do that. You feel like 7 resolve from the song won't have much impact? 7 resolve to like this many brothers? Yeah, that's a lot. I think the impact is higher than you think. I think that has higher impact than just like one random one-off weak-ass throw. No, I'm gonna go like this. I think this is right. I think this is right. It's like a third of my resolve. True, but it's still gonna get the minus 50% debuff to it. No, we're gonna go like this on Curse Word, I think. And Curse Word's gonna wear heavier armor than this. Let's see, because we do have the Footman's armor with this attachment, right? Who's wearing that right now? Slice the Elder is. Who probably will want something lighter. Are pots relevant for some bros to carry? Maybe. So, the only bros who would maybe even do it. So, unfortunately, we don't have any smoke pots. We just don't have any. It would be nice if we did. Right? But we don't. Don't have any smoke pots. Smoke pots can clear miasma and give our bros some running. Fire pots can finish off necros. Yep, fire pots can finish off necros. Curse Word has such good stats, supposed to be... Yeah, I mean, so he does. And Daze is fine. Right, so I think we would want to look at potions on a brother who can actually use them. And so like Miles would be a good option for that, because he has quick hands. Now, if he swaps weapons away from whatever he has, if he's got Whirling Death active, he does lose it. But still, that may end up being something we want to do. If I had an extra 3-headed flail, I actually might give it to Miles, specifically for the Necro Savants. Maybe it's a misplay to not have that in the stash in preparation. Probably could have kept one of those instead of like why we have this ancient sword. I don't know. Yeah, let's go with a fire pot on Miles. He may be able to use that to finish off a necro. And I don't know that the flash pot is going to go anywhere. I mean, I guess I could give it to Antiwian because we can. Or maybe Mystic Nemo, because he can throw it for cheaper with finesse. I'll probably put a bandage here on Antiwian. We'll see. Okay, so now before we work out armors and gear, I'm going to look at where we want bandages and how many bandages, etc., etc. Also potentially throwing nets. I don't know, maybe the throwing net is actually better than the flash pot. Like actually. The only thing throwing nets do now is lower defenses. Without any masteries, they don't lower initiative. We don't have any use of death blow or things like that. I think lowering enemy damage and lowering their initiative with a flash in an AoE is going to be better than a single target throwing net. Almost for sure. It's also cheaper from a fatigue cost. More likely to actually get use. Yeah, I think that's true. So then bandages. We want to make sure we've got bandages because there's lots and lots of cleavers on this battlefield. The Chaucer doesn't need that. I can't imagine we would want more than one bandage on any individual brother. And in fact, on some brothers, I may not put one at all. We're going to work out... our gear here in a moment. There may be fatigue considerations with the bandages, even though it's minimal. But we'll start with this. I think that's fine. That should be enough bandages. Again, there's going to be cleavers on all the Necrosavants, and all of those top Ancient Honor Guard, you know, there's going to be some cleavers amongst them as well. Okay, so now let's talk gear and armors. So we are going to want to have some gear considerations such that we're mostly concerned with the honor guard that are on the top flank. So the main line, what they're going to fight first, are those shielded enemies and the back line polearms, which have pretty minimal armor penetrating damage. So we want to make sure, so in that case, if we were to fight like an infinite number of those, for example, we would want to have super heavy armors. Because we're not worried about the armor penetrating damage getting through, right? So flexible doesn't need to flex as much. And we can just simply prevent damage pretty effectively, right? And our hit points will remain safe. When we're hit by those heavier armor penetrating damage weapons that are going to be coming from the honor guard, we actually probably will have better overall survivability on some brothers with lighter armor, just so that flexible protects their hit points for longer. To a point, right? I haven't done the math on this or anything like that, but that's just sort of what my game sense intuition tells me. It's a function of the amount of hit points they have, because the more hit points they have, the more armor penetrating damage they can withstand. And it is also a function of, you know, their flexible percentage and how durable, you know, their armor is, how much sustain it has. I think that it is still generally going to be true on these frontliners who have really high hit points. And of course, there's Stinky Cloud that we're going to have to be dealing with at some point, that we still go with pretty heavy armors, even for dealing with the honor guard. But the brothers who have lower hit points, for example, Dr. Wisniewski, and Slice the Elder, and who want to benefit a little bit more from secondary effects, will want to have a little bit lighter armor on. Also, we're going to give Master Maticus something that gives him some resolve. We'll just put this on him now. Right, we don't need to threaten the Necrosauts. The other thing we could do, you know, with Master Maticus, so there's basically two options. We could go with the Brigandine Harness, or we could go with just like an Assassin's Robe. But I think I'm going to go with the Brigandine Harness. I think the extra resolve is very relevant for this brother, right? Even though that's going to make it so that if he does get hit in the head, where we actually sort of care about the durability, it might, you know, once we wear heavier armor, we may end up beating this down. But he also now only has 21 fatigue to work with, so he's going to be able to like take a couple steps, and then he's just immobile the entire rest of the fight. So be it. He's just going to be a walking tank. So we'll get him in position, and then he'll just stand there menacingly. So we'll need to work out which duo we want to have occupy the sort of front of the top and the back of the top. I guess we can do it like this. I think Helmfried is the most durable overall. Is that even true? Do I think that's true? Maybe I don't. Menace, did I hear that correct? Hey, mark your bingo cards. Okay, we'll probably put something lighter on Dr. Vishnevsky here too. So the reinforced footman armor, I actually think can go on Curseword. He has enough fatigue, he can wear something heavier. And we no longer need this helmet on him. In fact, he can wear this. I'm not too worried about the armor penetration on this brother. And I think he's got enough fatigue that we can do both of these abilities no problem. No, we'll still at least go with this helmet. I think the benefit is minimal for the full helm. But reinforced footman armor I think probably makes sense there. And then I think we'll probably end up putting Brigandine harness here. Appears to be a dancing lady on that. Yeah. She's got arrows in one hand and a fan in the other. This lady makes Fossey 254 extra resolute. Okay, so let's work through the armors a bit. I actually am not sure I want this hammer here on Fossey 254. I probably still do, actually. I think I probably still do. Anyway, all right, so let's work out the armors. So Helmfried is good. We're gonna leave him just like this. We could maybe put like a different light helmet on him, but I don't think so. The only benefit to putting like a different helmet on, well, let's see, right? The enemy cleavers do cause bleeds, and the bleeds are a big deal. So it might be worth to just do like the Blade Dancer's head wrap. Again, keep in mind, this brother has Armor of the Idurok and Steelbrow and Nimble. And he's going to be using Indom. Probably the Blade Dancer's head wrap is worth. It's only one extra weight. Right, so the amount of extra damage we take is pretty minimal. Going from 31 to 33, more armor damage from attacks. Shouldn't it only go up by 1? 32 plus 1, so 33 makes sense. Why is this only 31? I actually feel like this number should say 32 when he has got this set up. Could be a weird rounding error. Could just be a tooltip thing. What number? Yeah, so Helmfried's Nimble... Second number here, take blah 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 more armor damage from attacks. It says 31, but he has a 32 weight body armor on. So he has a 32 weight body armor and a 0 weight occult eye mask. And this says 31. Got any other 32 weight to compare? I don't think so. Let's see what it says for the 29. 28? It says 28. And then goes up to 30. Maybe hat is secretly -1? It's, yeah, it is. It's like the hat is secretly -1 is kind of how the numbers seem to be playing out. Anyway, I backed up my save file, so if you want it to play with it, I guess I can send it to you, Dark. So, just let me know. Check the number hatless. Oh, sure. 32. 31. 33. Yeah, you're right. Hatless. It's like this has a weight of -1. But not in terms of our fatigue, just in terms of the nimble percentage. Huh. Regardless, I think I'm convinced that I think this Blade Dancer's head wrap is the play. I think just like being able to take one more ping to the head is worthwhile. I think that's the play. I think so. I think so. If he gets hit in the head a bunch, it would be bad. But not that bad. Not that bad. Does this invalidate the run? It does. You just checked and I did a typo. The eye mask was supposed to be 1 weight and you gave it -1 weight. Ah! Dark Zo! Typos? Inexcusable. Yeah, run invalid for sure, for sure. Bug abuse. I've been abusing it this whole time, too. Incredible. Off to the firing range you go? Yeah. We've been wearing the eye mask like the whole run. The effect is minimal, but it has been there. I bet the -1 prevented us from getting the Lindworm Slayer. Probably. I think that's true. Okay, so I'm gonna work out who I want to have what body armors on, and then we'll work out the helmets afterwards. So we're rolling a new squad instead? Yeah, sure. So the real big question is, who do we want to wear this Unruly Vizier's harness? Who do we want that to be? I'm not sure. I might put it on Antiwian. I don't think Plaguebird's gonna need it. Realistically. And then I might... This is an interesting question. I actually kind of am thinking about... It's a good armor. I'm just not sure where it belongs. And Dr. Vishnevsky is probably going to end up wearing one of these Brigandine harnesses. Yeah, Dr. Vishnevsky's he's gonna struggle in the miasma, for sure. He's gonna struggle. Gonna struggle in the miasma. Also need to work out, actually, I guess there's a big question with Dr. Vishnevsky that we can ask, and maybe should ask. And maybe this is part of our gearing question, so need to answer it. So anticipation. Let's say Dr. Vishnevsky has, let's put this in an ideal circumstance. So he's next to Master Maticus and one other enemy. So if he's next to Master Maticus and one other enemy, he'll have 4 hexes free. Let's say he's got no accumulated fatigue. We're going to make this as ideal as possible. He's gaining 5% of his initiative, so that's 57. So 57 times 0.5 times 4. 0.05. So he would gain 11 range defense. So if he's not confident, right, so let's make that the condition as well. Let's keep him steady. We would look at a range defense value of 60. 60% reduction from an attack. His chance to be hit by an Ancient Honor Guard would be 40% chance. Let's say he's removed Formidable Approach. I think that's likely. Now let's contrast that with having this weapon equipped. Oh yeah, he has Battle Fervor. He'll never be confident. He'll never be confident. When did I get that? Don't I have that on another row too? Hold on. Who's the one with the chicken? I've got someone else with Battle Fervor. Yeah, Miles. Yeah, because he's insecure. Yeah. So let's see. Yeah, so I did grab this. I actually don't remember when I grabbed that. I think that was like one of the last choices we made. So is that already affecting his stats? Oh, it already is. It's already affecting it. Okay, sure. So we actually gain the 10% from what gets added on. So that's already being applied. Okay, so we'll multiply this number times 1.1. So actually he'll gain 12 range defense from dodge. So 12 plus 49, so we're looking at 61. And a 40% chance to be hit, as opposed to this thing equipped, where our anticipation would go down dramatically, but maybe alongside flexible, still prevents bleed damage from getting through if he's got light armor on. And I think we're going to move over like this super efficient helmet over to him. I think maybe Dr. Vishnevsky is just going to go into battle like this. What about that famed nimble armor? This thing sucks. It's pretty bad. I think we need the extra resolve from the Brigandian Harness. He's got 38 resolve. So he'll get plus 20, but like, yeah. I'm really worried that Dr. Vishnevsky is just going to break at an inopportune moment. I think I am just going to go into battle with this. I think even though the anticipation lowering our range defense will be pretty substantial, where we'll get minimal benefit from anticipation. I think it's enough of a benefit that alongside flexible can protect his hit points from getting hit at all. And I think actually the extra defense from parry is absolutely massive. Right now we're looking at 95 melee defense. And so, 50 plus half of 45. So, roughly between 20 and 25, lowering their hit chance to, basically half of if we didn't have this. I think this is good. We're getting a pull. Oh, yeah. Let's do that. All right, start prediction. Oh, no, the interface is terrible. Disaster. Not delusional. Do you happen to be here? If you are, if you could start a prediction, and let's do 10 more minutes. Put 10 minutes on it for how many bros are going to die. Make 0 one of the options. Make 15 one of the options. Fill it in the middle as per your discretion. if you're here. If not, well, I guess I could try to... I bet I could... Well, hold on. I can probably go to my own chat channel. Hold on. Chat myself. Ah! Prediction. There we go. Start prediction. I can do this. All right. How many deaths? 0. 1 to 2. 2 to 5. 6 to 14. And 15. Okay, I'm gonna start a poll of the same thing. So what did I put my options as? Can I pull that up? 0, 1 to 2, 2 to 5, 6 to 14, 15. Duration 10 minutes. Oh yeah, and struck down equals death. Yeah. I just mean, sorry, struck down. Struck down is death. How many bros will fall? Right? How many bros will fall? There's a lot of believers in 6 to 14. So you think I'm going to win. That's good, at least. 6 to 14 is a huge range. Boy, I didn't realize that would be so popular. I mean, I sort of figured more people would believe in 0. Or 1 to 2. Those feel like the most likely. I don't know. Maybe 2 to 5. I guess I don't know. You put 74k points on 0? Hell yeah, Plaguebird. But 15 is also... Don't underestimate the possibility. Okay, so Slice the Elder is also going to need some lighter armor. And I think we're going to go with the most efficient... named helmet for... Ooh, actually, maybe do we put this here? No, this will go on Slice the Elder. Yeah, we need the flexible percentage of preventing armor penetration against those cleavers. Pretty important up here. So I think that's I think this armor is going to be really good here on Slice the Elder, like super good, like incredibly good. So then again, this armor here, the Unruly Vigier's Harness. You know what? I need to pee. I drank a lot of coffee already this morning. I'm gonna be right back. Okay, I'm back. If exactly 2 brothers die, a lot of people are gonna escape. Did I screw up the... Oh no. Shit. There's an overlap. I messed up. 2 to 5 is 3 to 5. 2 to 5 is 3 to 5. Sorry. 2 to 5 is 3 to 5. Cancel it and start over? We'll cancel it and start over. Can I do that? I think I can. But I can't get rid of the poll. I'll start the prediction over. You're right. Delete. Delete and return points. My bad. We start over. 0, 1 to 2, 3 to 5, 6 to 14, 15. All right. We'll start over. My bad. My bad. New one has been created. Thank you, Rufin, for the catch. That was like our warm-up fight. So it should be in place now. Yeah, okay. Plus now you can reassess based on what I think will happen, which maybe you don't believe in. Maybe you don't believe in. Someone else saw it first? Okay. Well, thank you, whoever that was. My bad, my bad. I made an error. I made an error. How many youths will be in the fight? I think it's 47. Pretty sure it's 47. I rewatched the fight from the Dawnforged Champions, and it was 47, unless that's changed, which I thought it was 47. I'm pretty sure it's 47. Okay, so still looking at gear here. Where do I put this armor? This probably just goes on Meta Wrecker. And I think that's better too from a resolve perspective. Because at least we're Dolling Ho's position now. These bros will gain the bonus AP. And if Meta Wrecker has... yeah, this will be better. This will be better. And actually though, I mean, realistically, I maybe even want to have Meta Wrecker and Intiwian swap armors. Maybe that's true. Because I don't think Meta Wrecker's gonna die. I'm not as worried about these brothers. The Phalanx boys are so durable. I think if they have lighter armors, it's actually like kind of okay. Yeah, I think we want this back on Intiwian. And then we'll get rid of the pole hammer. And actually, weirdly enough, you know what? We're going to do something a little wild on Intiwian. Intiwian's got Formidable Approach. Intiwian's got Unstoppable. Intiwian's got the Russia Battle. Intiwian's going to start the fight fighting against Necro Savants, probably. Maybe we use this. No, probably not. No, we just stick with the two-handed hammer. And I think we don't even bother with the pole hammer. We say if Intiwian can't get there to fight, Intiwian doesn't get to fight. He runs forward, he attacks with a hammer. That's what he does. We don't want him too encumbered. Right, we want this brother to be able to get to where he needs to. So we're going to get rid of the pole hammer. And we're going to leave a pretty efficient helmet on. Okay. So then, other armors and considerations. Mystic Nemo. I think we'd like to have something lighter on if we could get away with it. But I guess we don't, or can't. I mean, I guess I could consider putting on this. Or should Scottaboosh have... How much fatigue would they have to work with if we were like this? Yeah, that doesn't seem very good, because I think the, Bearded Blade's 16 fatigue, yeah. No, I think we want to have lots of fatigue on Scottaboosh. I don't think we do that. I guess Mystic Nemo can have this sort of setup. He's gonna have less fatigue to work with than I'd like. Maybe Mystic Nemo and Darling Ho swap. You know, Darling Ho does... He's got Decisive, but he doesn't have Unstoppable. So he actually... Yeah, he can wear this. I think this is better. This will be better. So one other thing to consider, when I was talking about like overall strategy that we could have done, would be if we did start out the fight just like running, we could run back, end turn, run back, end turn. That would give us the opportunity to accumulate decisiveness on our decisive bros, which we do have 2 of. I don't think I'm going to do that. I think we want these bros equipped as they are, and they actually literally can't because they're too encumbered. But it's an interesting option. Okay, so what else? What are some other considerations? Just back for the poll, not Antioian, not much of a believer. Oh yeah, let's see. What are people thinking? Ooh, it's a pretty even split, actually, between all options. 18% on 0, 23% on 1 to 2, 28% on 3 to 5, 19% on 6 to 14, and 12% on 15. That's a nice, like, bell curve. People believe in 3 to 5. It's reasonable. It's reasonable. Must run to an appointment. Good luck, sir. Can't wait to catch up on the VOD. Hey. I hope it's a good appointment, Eagledub. The 12% is just Antioian. Yeah, you gotta believe in something. So how do we feel about the amount of fatigue on Curse Word? the amount of usable fatigue on this brother. 87. Yeah, probably still good. Probably still good. Okay, so let's move these bros here and here so that they can at least be part of the initial song. For the first round. All right, I think we're ready for mushrooms. Pull up. The poll, I think, thank you, not delusion. I think I already, oh, okay. Are we winning? Okay. Oh, this is a great poll. These are great options. I like all of them. Okay, I think that's good. Well, I think that's where I'm landing. Is there something else I'm missing? Let's consult. Oh, yeah, my list. Okay. Actually, hold on. Extra sword lance was one of my questions. Is it worth, or do I think that Dalling Ho will burn through all 64 durability of this sword lance by the end of the fight? What's the cost to equipping this? Because it's super light. So it's a cost of 4 fatigue, 4 weight when it's in the pocket. Four fatigue feels worth as a backup? I don't know. How much reaping are we going to be doing? We haven't had it break in a fight yet, but this is the fight where it would happen. We also haven't run out of fatigue yet on Dalling Ho. Had a bunch of sub 10% fights though. Did it start full durability when it did? And this other sword lance, I think it's higher durability, right? 70? Yeah. He's our carry, and if he runs out of ammo. Yeah. Valid concern. You know, and as crazy as this sounds, let's put a lighter helmet on him. Let's do like this. Perfect. And then Miles isn't encumbered. Sure. I don't think it's likely. But I think if it does happen, it's really bad. And I mean, this sword lance, 64 durability. Nah, I think we should. I think there's a decent... There's going to be so many enemies. Like, he's going to... Yeah, I think so. I think so. Okay, let's consult. What else from the list? Oh, yeah. So our dogs are where we want them, right? So we've got the dog on Curse Word. I think that's actually pretty good. And then Scatabouche, I think that's right. Or is that right? That's probably right. Got a little flash pot on Mystic Nemo. I think that's fine. Actually, I don't know. Do I carry the extra sword lance? Here's the deal. There will be sword lances on the battlefield, or Reaper's Scythes. They're going to have pretty low durability, though. The ones on the enemy side just have like low durability to start with. We could always just pick up one of those if we had to. I don't think we bring it. We can just pick up another one. Four fatigue for saving the AP seems worth. We'll never do that, I don't think. Yeah, we're not going into this confident. The team's going into this at, well, it's possible that the Chaucer will go in confident. He took part in a show. Okay, we'll keep this. I mean, this is better than the backup. I think it's fine. We'll do this. We'll have a backup. So then do I actually want the reinforced footman armor on Curseword, or rather the scale armor? Probably the scale armor. It's not that much difference in durability, and the weight is much lighter. So this was always meant to be left behind anyway. We could always start the fight by dropping it and then recovering the lost 4 fatigue. Right, so in the first round of combat, we could just put it on the ground and then pick it up later. That is an option. And so we bring it and we either drop it in the first round because he's not going to be able to attack. Actually, maybe he will be able to. Nah, we'll bring it. We'll bring it. I think we'll bring it. All right, so now let's work out who we want to be doing drugs. Who's going to be taking some shrooms before this fight? Because it's going to be some brothers. Some brothers are going to be doing some shrooms. So obviously in our tank duos, nobody's going to. Honorable mention for Slice the Elder. This weapon is gross. I like kind of maybe want to. And do I want that on Slice the Elder or Miles? This flail. You know what? I actually wonder if we swap these. No, because we want to make sure we got Flail Spinner active. No, we leave it here. We leave it here. We leave it here. Or not Flail Spinner, but Whirling Death. Alright, so who's going to do mushrooms? Not Meta Wrecker. Not apples and fruits. Mushrooms don't increase the damage of the lightning. Not Plague Bird. Not the Chaucer. Definitely Mystic Nemo. Not Master Maticus. Not Dr. Vishnevsky. Definitely Foster 254. Definitely Darling Ho. Not Curseword. Definitely Miles. Scottaboosh is an interesting one. I'm not sure. Maybe not. He's a little bit too... Is he a little bit too tasty of a target for the Necro Savants? Does he even want a crossbow? Well, it's a good question. So we do have ready to go. So we will start with one in the chamber to maybe get one good shot at a Necro Savant. It's debatable. It's 6 fatigue to carry this, right? So it's not free, right? It's not free. The other option would be to bring spiked bolas, which we could carry for 4. And then we've got more throws. Or potentially a bundle of heavy throwing axes. That's probably better. We're also carrying the quiver of bolts. We did remove this one, right? Yeah. No one else has like a random quiver or something. Okay, good. My initial thought was to keep this equipped. I don't think that's worth. Boy, these are heavy. The damage is really good though. And so with Toolbox, this is a cutting type throwing attack, so we'll apply Overwhelmed. I wonder if I just bring in an extra stack of bolas. Yeah, we've got throwing mastery. Right, we have weapon master. We don't get the last one. We don't get opportunist because we never did pick the last one. So we've got throwing mastery and toolbox. I kind of feel like the potential for stun is too high. I think the spiked bolas, because we've got all these hammers, this is just better. This is just better. We can stun. Let's carry the extra. This also goes around shields. Remember, the throw bola has been reworked to bypass shield range defense, and we're going to be fighting against a bunch of enemies with shields in the front line. I kind of feel like... I think the extra throw bolas is more relevant because we've got all these hammers. Nice to have a heavy throwing weapon for the damage. It is, but I still think we go with extra throw bolas. I think the not only equip weight, but cost to throw of the heavy throwing weapons makes me kind of want to rather have this one. The extra accuracy, the stuns. Yeah, I think I'll go with this. I mean, I don't know that... I'm convinced 100% it's right, but I think this is where I'm leaning right now. So the question is, do I want him to do strange shrooms? I think no. He's going to be a pretty juicy target for the Necro Savants. And even though this infamous Skull Warper is insane, and we are going to be using it, well, I don't know. We're going to be doing it on Intiwian. The thing is I think, at least on this ability, or this axe, we're going to be using the Bearded Blade. Alright, so we're going to be disarming, especially if the Necro Savant Lord jumps on Scottaboosh. Now, we're going to attack with this infamous Skull Warper sometimes. That's happening. Yeah, thanks, Rufin. Yeah, unequip the quiver. So one interesting thing about the strange mushrooms... Oh, it's lowering the... Oh no, it is lowering the modifier. Is that it doesn't actually prevent parry from providing the range defense. You see the formation has changed slightly from an hour and a half ago? Mm-hmm. My wife's like, are you still prepping or are you fighting yet? I told her it would take a while. But we're pretty close. We're pretty close. Do I want the Chaucer to use the strange mushrooms? Parry does not lose its value, right? So this is not as big of a debuff as you might think. Hell nah? I don't know. He's not positioned aggressively. He's not really going to. We won his damage. Did you decide not to have the double duo on the left? No, we do. One duo, second duo. Plus 25% damage on a dingy ass sword. I wouldn't underestimate this sword, actually. Mushrooms. I'm even sort of thinking about it on Dr. Vishnevsky a little bit, but I don't think I'm going to. You can't use the... We can on Necrosavants. We can on Necrosavants. But yeah, we even can potentially, right? I mean, if the enemy is like nearly dead, and this could be a finishing attack. But you're right, it's piercing. Well, I gotta respond to a text. Okay. All right, I think that's the prep I want to do. Is there anything I might be missing? Hello, Lionheart. Doomer warning, assuming Vishnevsky probably is going to die. Getting more damage out could be good. Did you enjoy Slay the Spire too? Oh, absolutely. Absolutely loving it. Going to be playing more. Absolutely. So yeah, Dr. Vishnevsky, I mean, it's an interesting proposition. He's... The real question is, like, is he in range to one-shot the Ancient Honor Guard with this thing? Probably not. Like, if he uses the mushrooms specifically. Not even close? Oh, I wouldn't underestimate it. Right? So full force would be 16 times 5. 80% increased damage. So let's say he rolls a 35 at... with Duelist. So 35 times... Yeah, I guess not even close. They have a ton of hit points. They have a ton of hit points. Yeah, so 35 times 0.8 times 1.8 is 50 damage. Yeah, I think it's too unlikely. I think we just want him to live longer. I don't think we do mushrooms here. The real one I'm curious about is Slice the Elder. Like, I'm really tempted to do mushrooms here. Like, really tempted, but I don't think we do. I don't think so. He's gonna get hit. Like, he's gonna be exposed to the enemy to a a certain degree. Even though, man, this thing is completely disgusting. And man, do I want to make this thing hit real hard. But I don't think so. I don't think so. He's going to get attacked, and we need to have him live. You think his MDef is low enough that he's going to get hit if the enemy is still alive after the hit? No, he swaps back. He rotates. He rotates. So, in a lot of situations, we're going to prevent him from being able to be attacked, but we only have so much control over that. Why would you need the MDef? No, I don't know. I don't think so. Like, I realize they have really high melee skill, but we're looking at a pretty substantial difference, right? So they've got 90 melee skill. We're going to be able to get rid of Formidable Approach, so we're not even going to consider that. They're not going to have reach advantage because we got Flail Spinner, right? So we're going to have 40 melee defense, right? So we're going to make him go from a 50% chance to hit to a 65% chance to hit. And we lose our anticipation value. Actually, even higher, because we do have dodge. I guess that'll go away. Also, this bro will start confident. Nah, I don't think so. I think we do not do mushrooms here. I'm on the fence because this weapon is completely cracked. Completely cracked. And we would love. I mean, the thing is what I would want to do. So the real answer to this question is, if I were to program in the values for Ancient Honor Guard into like Turtle225's calculator and ask the question, does this get me from like into a one-shot kill territory on Ancient Honor Guard if and only if we do the mushrooms, right? So if we don't have one-shot kill on a headshot without, but we do reliably with, then we would. And maybe the answer is yes, but I'm not confident that it is. Go program it? Yeah, I'm not going to do that. Do they brow? No. Nope. They do not. Do the mushrooms change the attacks to kill average? I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, so if it changes like at a break point. So you thought all undead? Yeah, this is like, get rid of everything you know. That's what I'm saying, Sir Aridin. That's what I was trying to say earlier. So you catch the fight on the VOD? Yeah. I mean, it might put him into one-shot territory. When I'm thinking back, so again, a lot of my strategic decisions are very vibe-based. I'm pretty sure he's one-shot Ancient Honor Guards or comes super close. I'm very confident in this. Hey, thank you, Sir Aridin. Nah, you're good. You're good. You should play it, though. It's really fun. The Hardened submod specifically is what I've been playing and enjoying. As a side note, I'm really glad that the mod got rid of Steel Brow on skeletons, because I feel like hitting skeletons in the head, that feels appropriate. That feels like how you should kill them. So removing Steel Brow from Ancient Dead was the correct move by Reforged, and it's really weird that vanilla gives them Steel Brow. Thematically, I don't like it. It's not so binary between one shot and two shot. Closer to dead means they're easier to finish off by other bros with lower damage. It'll be a little bit binary for this brother because he's going to be a little bit isolated in their dynamic duo up top. So it's a little more binary. It's a little more binary for this guy. Giving Shroom basically doubles the one-shot chance going from 13 to 25, so not that huge. Really? Did you plug in all these numbers with the famed item? Yeah, no, I agree that the calculators are... that's why I feel like the value of the calculator is in figuring out breakpoints for one-shots, in a bunch of other stuff. So... the damage from the secondary attack for flailed spinner matters. Well, that's true. That's true. You did, yeah, 95 HP Honor Guard, as well as the increased armor values. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Just big damage range and has to hit the head for fatal. Yeah. But the secondary damage from Flail Spinner does really matter too. Maybe we can protect this bro good enough. Screw it. The team's gonna be, we're gonna hear a lot of screaming. Okay, I think that's it. I think we're ready. Yeah, big number feel good. The enemies can't hit you if they're dead. Let's go. Go in to the end. Engage. Oh no, is my game crashing? I've got a spinning blue wheel. Okay, that was an extremely long load time. That was weird. But I guess we're here now. Yeah, so 47 enemies. Thank you, Slock, for the good luck. Yeah, that was a scary load time. That was weird. Okay, we've got weird terrain here, too. We may be able to use this terrain to our advantage. Huh. Okay. So, right off the bat, you took 2 hours to think. You gotta give the computer 20 seconds of leeway, I suppose. Is it just because it's a really big fight? I guess. I don't know what it's loading. So, before the enemy even approaches, let's talk about where we want these duos to be. Because I kind of feel like we can use this boulder to prevent surface area. And if they have to go all the way around, they either just won't, or if they do, who cares? They're also going to get hung up on these boulders, which might cause us problems, but we'll see. So we can have Master Maticus move here, Dr. Vishnevsky move here, Helmfried to here, Slice the Elder to here, and then everyone else remains stationary. It's not just a boulder, it's a rock. No, it says boulder. If we attack it, does it shoot across the battlefield and do 5 damage to the enemy? Oh, wrong game. Not cats? Okay. Pioneers used to ride these babies for miles. True. Okay. So yeah, we'll move these two bros here and here. These two bros here and here. Helmfried's going to be able to throw some stuff at them. I think that's how we do it. So that's all the Necro Savants waiting. The Chaucer's gonna wait. Humphrey's gonna wait at the start. We're gonna move him at the end. Metawrecker's gonna shield wall. And we're just gonna go ahead and shuffle now. Because we're gonna have Fosti254 do his hold steady right at the start. And then we're just gonna end turn. Plaguebird's gonna shield wall. And is there any reason for us to not just end turn? Is there any reason to wait? Because Miles is gonna stay here, so who cares? I think we just end turn. Dr. Vishnevsky we can reposition now if we want. Doesn't matter. The way Rebuke works, it triggers a counterattack if you miss even one of the hit. Yes, I believe that's correct, Rufin. You're saying should we have swapped to the regular flail? Like a regular flail? Though I suppose, I don't know, I guess it depends on how much we have him attack Necrosavants versus the Ancient Dead. So yeah, we'll move Dr. Vishnevsky to here now. I think that's fine. Wait on Scottaboosh. Master Maticus can go here. No, we may as well. No. Let's keep him in range of the song. Play a little music. Swap to the whip. Adrenaline. Darling Ho, we're going to wait because we actually may end up being able to do an attack at the start. Slice the Elder, let's just wait, though we're going to end up doing a Whirling Death and moving up. Apples and Fruits, let's make sure we shield wall. Ancient Legionaries don't have... yeah, the Palatinus. They do not. No Rebuke. Though they do have Exploit Opening. Which, like... some downside to the three-headed flail there. They had Rebuke? Oh yeah, it's right here. Yep. You guys are right. They do. No, that's it. Okay. Alright, so we're going to do our hold steady here. Rotate. Swap to hammer. Also, my game is like a tiny bit laggy, actually. So we have an option on Mystic Nemo to take a step up and reap, or do an attack. He can move up, attack, and then back up, because it'll be 5. Yeah, the Conqueror here already. So in T-Win, I'm just going to end turn. So the Chaucer, let's throw some stuff. and end turn. Because I don't want to have him swap with Scatabouche. So we got a little bit of splash there. That's good. But he's fast enough. We can just end turn. So Humphrey's going to move up here. And then we're going to throw some water. And I guess we throw it here for maximal splash. Okay. Are there any of the champion skeletons in this, like Decanus and such? I don't think so. I think it's just Praetorians, Honor Guard, and Legionaries. And the Platinus. Does the Conqueror have any major changes? I mean, he's still immune to disarms, but that's by way of Savage Strength. So he also gained damage. Has Resilient, so we can't stun him reliably. Has Formidable Approach. I mean, he's I guess, different from vanilla, but only because of, you know, having perks that fit. What's here? Oh, I lied. Here's some Centurions. Okay. All right, so we swap here. Ooh, that's a good one. That's a good hit. That's a really good hit. I weapon swapped to the bolas and I should not have. Like I weapon swapped from bolas to bolas. I get one fewer attack. Okay, but before we end our turn, I am going to swap weapons now. To this guy. Because we do get the weapon swap after attacking. Maybe I was strategically saving fatigue there. I wasn't. Okay, go here, end turn. Curse word, end turn. Now, Darling Ho, we're gonna move up to here. That way we can reap and hit this guy without the shield. No, we can't, because we gotta stay near apples and fruits. So actually we can only go here. 7 hits with water is a great start. It really is. Yeah. It is a good start. Okay. How much did we hit for? Hit his body only for 9. Okay. So here we're going to step up, do our Whirling Death, even though we're stepping into the Miasma. You know, I wonder actually if I would have been better served to Whirling Death and end turn, step forward next turn. That would have been better. We didn't need to take that. I need to slow down. Because he's fast enough. Yeah, I didn't need to do that. So I've already made 2 fire pots. Excuse me, 2 misplays. Okay, so Mystic Nemo, we're going to step up. Just attack. Cool. Made Scatabouche confident, that's good. Miles, we're going to go ahead and just Whirling Death. End turn. Alright, so we're going to do our Onslaught. And do an Adrenaline for the Hold Steady. But in the meantime, we're going to pull out the Battle Standard. So the Chouster's going to swap, wait. Dr. Vishnevsky's going to wait. Here come the Necrosavants. Okay, wait on Master Maticus. Wait on Metawrecker. Here's the Necrosavant Lord. He just walks up. A little bit rude. And he's in a spot where his Formidable Approach can't be taken away. It's okay, we just stun him. How about that? How about we just stun him? We'll see. We'll try. So we're probably going to end up having Helmfried attack him, actually. At least in this first round. We're going to wait for his armor to get stripped. Or do we? We lose a little bit of... We already lost our necessary reach to gain reach advantage. Or I guess we never were going to have it to begin with. Right, so this bro has just Skirmisher, doesn't have Relentless. Yeah, so we would lose dodge value by waiting on him. I actually think maybe the right play is... Well, yeah, no, I think we just attack. I think we just attack twice. And then we let Slice the Elder attack him as well. Okay. And I'm probably going to reactivate Whirling Stance. It'll bring our hit chance up to 95. Is that worth? Actually, it might not be. I don't think so. Huge hit. That's so much damage. Good lord. But Slice the Elder might get a little bit of pain. Okay, so Antiwian. We can break their... They don't have Formidable Approach on the Necrosavants, but he can gain it by doing a swap. We'll probably do that in the second half of the round. Because we're going to end up doing a Shatter. Could maybe do a Shatter now on these two Necrosavants. I don't think that would be bad. Because maybe we don't want to swap. Right, because it does make us do less full force. And it costs us fatigue. With these bros, it's not free. Knockback could cost them an attack. It could. Now, it's possible that one of these guys goes here so we get slightly more value from it. But we also have to consider that if we stagger them and lower their initiative, we get to go before them. Which maybe we want. What's our hit chance? 77? 82 with the regular attack. Pretty low against the guy with the shield. I actually think I'm gonna... And keeping in mind, you know... Oh, so this bro has Relentless. Yeah, we wait. Okay. Alright, that Reap was really bad from this Palatinus. That's so bad, actually. So we swap because we can do 2 attacks. Was that a Reap with 7x Death Dealer? Sure was. Yeah, I mean, I think I just do Strike Down and finish him. And do I put a dog down here? Yeah, let's get crowded on these guys. And we're going to swap to the long axe because it has more reach. I don't think it'll actually matter against anything, but that's what we'll end our turn with. Okay, Mystic Nemo's going to get 2 reaps. So we could do one here, we can do one here. We could do one here. Shit hit chance? Yeah, it's not great. He's pretty crowded right now. Mystic Nemo we don't want to wait on. Right, because he's got the decisive and unstoppable. Otherwise, I would say we could wait and see if Antiwian can break this guy free from him. I think we do the reap here. And then again in the same spot. Might be able to kill here. Would we want to kill here? Right, because the Chaucer will be able to finish him off. Attacking into Rebuke is dangerous? Attacking into Rebuke is dangerous. For Mystic Nemo in particular too, since he got hit by this. That ancient Palatinus's absolutely monstrous reap. I think we just attack here. Okay. Alright, Darling Ho is going to do what Darling Ho does, which is absolutely erase enemies. We're not erased yet. And we're going to end turn because we want him to become decisive. So we'll swap with Miles and we'll just get a kill here. It's a little bit underwhelming. But we need to get these kills, and we're not going to reactivate Whirling Stance yet. We'll just end turn. Apples and Fruits will be able to attack, and we'll spread 1 lightning. And I think just end turn. Will anyone else move up in range? Yes, actually. He's going to get a second attack, so let's wait. Alright, Frosty 254. Full force. Okay. I was kind of hoping that would hit more of them. Oh, so the Chaucer can't swap. Well, maybe that's fine. Maybe we just go here and attack this guy twice. Ooh, maybe that's... Yeah, so that's this is a big decision. No, we need to take care of the Necrosavants ASAP. It's regrettable every time we don't. Alright, so Dr. Vishnevsky's going to swap in and smash this Praetorian. And just simply end turn here. Shuffle with Master Maticus, and I'm faster than them, right? Yes, so we go for the kill. We can start the next turn with Riposte. With Meta Wrecker, I might push. Let's see. They both have Rebuke active. The damage just isn't worth it, but we can push one. Okay, I'm just going to end turn. We're not going to attack. Alright, we can attack the Centurion. Wear them down can give undead fatigue? What? So let's see, on Plaguebird, I think we want to activate Whirling Death. Like, we want to get that activated. Or would I rather have him just attack and do damage? It's not bad damage. We don't really need the melee defense on Plaguebird right now. I actually think I'm just going to attack twice. This guy does not have Rebuke, so... Alright, so this is a very important AoE. Okay, did we proc 9 lives here? We did. That was really good by Antiwian. Absolutely excellent. Absolutely excellent. Right, so we proc 9 lives here, so the goal at the start of the turn is that the Chaucer is going to be able to finish him off, move here, rotate. So, I'm glad I moved him where I did. Get a little lightning going there. Okay. So we have an option here. We can either weapon swap and use Hold Steady for 32, or we can just use it here and keep the banner out. We've gotten a decent amount of Confident across the squad. I like how we're still giving the benefit to Slice the Elder up here. That feels kind of important. I think I'd rather just do Hold Steady now for 40. And end turn. I don't think there's any reason why we would ever use Adrenaline. Let's just go earlier in the turn next round. Okay, that's so good that those attacks missed. That's very good. All right, so the Chaucer will get a finishing blow here. Hey, look at him go. Go here, swap, finish off this enemy. Do I think the regular attack can finish him? I do, actually. Or like the cheaper attack. Ooh, but what if we hit him in the head? If we hit him in the head with this, it will not. Right, or could not. So let's use the slash. And hit him in the helmet, okay. Puzzling move by the Necrosavant Lord. But I'm fine with it. Alright, so Helmfried I'm going to have use Riposte and Indom. We're going to swap, let Slice the Elder do an attack, and then swap back. Meta Wrecker's going to wait. We're going to wait for Fossey 254. Plaguebird is going to wait because I actually might have him attack the Necrosavant at the end. That feels likely. It feels likely. And Tiwin, I think we just do a regular attack here. Don't think we want to let this Necrosavant move or attack. Maybe we do. Maybe that's okay. All we'll do is proc 9 lives. We may end up needing to use his rotation on Mystic Nemo. We would push him to the end of the turn, but do we care? I mean, it would let Mystic Nemo finish him off, perhaps, which we do care about that, right? So if this hits, which it's likely to, 95. Waiting loses a stack. Yeah, it would lose a stack of our Unstoppable. I'm just worried about needing to rotate Mystic Nemo. I guess he's going to live through one more turn, right? Right? Who am I convincing? Myself. All right, we'll reactivate Whirling Death, and I think we always hit the Necro Savant. Procs 9. So Master Maticus, we're going to riposte, swap, end turn. Dr. Vishnevsky, let's try to finish off this Praetorian here. And succeed. Mystic Nemo, let's do a regular attack here and finish off this guy. Also kind of want to hit this one and kill him. Damn. So Miles, I think I'm going to attack this Necro Savant. So we'll reactivate Flail Spinner, attack him. And we're going to swap, let Plaguebird maybe finish him off if we get a good hit here. We got a good hit. We should be able to finish him. Excellent. That's very good. Baron Von Pone, thank you for the raid. Very appreciated. Firepot nets 2 kills down south. True, but I think I'm okay with what we got going here. So actually, on Scottaboosh, I'm kind of thinking... So if we did a Bearded Blade to disarm here, we could weapon swap and then attack with the bolas twice, which should net a kill. I think we need to disarm this guy. Because we're not going to kill this Necro Savant next turn, and he cannot hit Mystic Nemo. I mean, this guy's going to move in too. So another option on Scottaboosh could be to wait. And then attack the Palatinus. DDRJK, thanks. Love you some Battle Brothers, me too. No, I think I'm going to go for the disarm here. Angrily. Finishing blow. And then we're out of fatigue. No, we're out of AP. I was going to say, I was like, we have lots of fatigue. Boy, Helmfried's getting hit a lot. Oh, Jesus. Jesus, 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 Jesus. Boy, Miles' armor just got completely smashed. So who's going to be able to attack still? This Legionary is Platinus. First bro down. The dog. Yeah. This is still our target. Come on. It's bad. That's bad. That's bad. That's bad. That's bad. That's the 9 lives proc. And he could die. He's gonna get attacked one more time. Yeah, by this guy. Boy, yeah. Miles just got hit by a whole bunch of stuff. I probably shouldn't have rotated yet. That was dumb. I could have just attacked and waited. I didn't have to put him there in that half of the round. Okay. I'm gonna wait on Fosti 254. Can pull armor kill it a Reaper? No, it's this one. Yeah, he fell. Oh boy. That's really bad. That's such important damage. Maybe shouldn't have even done those attacks. We need to keep our shield wall active, so I'm actually going to do the swap here on Meta Wrecker. Even though we're going to lose a little bit of combo value. Oh, come on, Plaguebird. Full force. We'll be able to do a Shatter next turn. They're hitting a lot of attacks. They're hitting a lot of attacks. Flail Boy probably next on the chopping block. Maybe. Let's do riposte and then a slash here on the Chaucer. And then I'm just going to end turn. We're going to have Scottaboosh wait and attack in the second half of the round. So Humphrey, I was going to recover. Now I'm seeing that might not be an option. I actually might end up doing something a little bit crazy on Helmfried. God help us. Or on this turn. Alright, so I'm going to have Intiwi and Brotate. We can't let Mystic Nemo get hit here. Mystic Nemo's done being attacked. That can't happen anymore. We can't get attacked by this Legionary. We can't get attacked by any of these things. And I think the play is to attack this Necro Savant. He needs to die. Okay. So here I think we're just going to knock back. Oh, come on. So then we'll wait on Meta Wrecker. Dr. Vishnevsky. I guess we're just going to attack and stay here. And we're going to attack here. It's good damage. End turn so that in case there's miasma, he's fine. So we can go here. Our shield wall is not active. We could Whirling Death to add defenses. I think we just do. So here's the deal. Here's the question I'm going to ask myself. And I'm asking this... We could do the AoE attack. Helmfried has pretty insane defenses. Pretty good. It's pretty good. It's higher than it looks here. He's got parry active. He's got, you know, so parry is adding to this. I think we do a Whirling Death into Thresh. 24 plus 9 is 33. We have that amount available. Does your own bro repost him if he misses? I actually have no idea. I have no idea. But I think this is the play. It hits too many enemies. That was awesome. What actually happened? Let's look through the log because I don't even know. All right, so we used Thresh. So we missed an Ancient Honor Guard, hit a Necro Savant, and killed it, right? Yeah, and killed it. Hit the Praetorian. Missed Helmfried. It looks like he did not get countered. Hit the Ancient Legionary, okay. Hit. Then in the spin, which was the secondary attack, hit, stun, hit Helmfried in the head for 19 damage. Not that bad. Hit and hit. Wow, okay. Yeah, I mean, that was like a lot of damage. Still put Helmfried in this spot. Now, unfortunately, that does mean the Conqueror is probably going to move in. Repost. Okay, glad I left the flag out. Ooh, that's bad. Okay. So we only get one attack here on Mystic Nemo. If we move here, we attack for cheaper. Does that matter to us? Not really. Is recover an option? I mean, it is. We would lose our unstoppable stacks. We can still keep decisive. Is one attack here worth? I mean, it would proc 9. Unless we low roll the damage. By hitting the body. Which part of the formation is your biggest confirm? North? It's the part spanning from right around here to down to here. I'd say that whole region. And we don't want this Decanus to be able to engage Mystic Nemo, so I'm gonna back him up actually. Man, we needed apples and fruit. Apples and fruits has gotta hit one of these. He has to hit one of these. So we need apples and fruits. Like, need him to hit those so that he can recover his fatigue with battle flow. And he's just not hitting them. Like, what was our hit chance there? 50? Okay, that was good. So Scottaboosh will do a swap, but we're going to wait for the second half of the round to do it. We're going to do a rotation and do some attacks. Or are we? I guess one play could simply be to pull out the bolas and attack this Necrosavant twice. No, we go before him on Antiween. So who cares? Antiween's going to go before him next round. Alright, so now we're getting surrounded in the back. Seems bad. Curse Word, I'm going to wait till the second half of the round. Keep that flag out. So, Fosty254. Dr. Vishnevsky's pretty surrounded here, and I don't like that. We could just simply attack this guy and potentially kill. And maybe that's the play. That feels like that was good. The doctor cannot have the issues. All right, so Scottaboosh is going to swap weapons. Then we're going to do a little swapsy. We're going to go for the stun here. And if we get a big AoE daze, that'll be huge. Of course we didn't. So we're going to do a regular attack. We cannot be countered on Scottaboosh, so we're going to do the attack here. That was good. So what's the play on Curse Word? We can swap to the whip, take a step down, and attack this Necrosavant. God, I need to pee again. Kinda. I'm gonna pee. I realized I peed a moment ago, but like, I'm just like chugging. I've gone through so many beverages here. All right, I'll be back in one moment. Okay, I'm back. Victory is near? Okay. Victory is near. That's right. I was under the desk fixing the foot pedal. Things are good now. And yeah, I agree that this this mod is not suitable for no death runs, especially at this fight. Like, and if you're interested, DDR Jake of seeing early stuff, thank you, Apples and Fruits. Perfect. It's all right there. So if we weapon swap to the Battle Whip, we can attack for 4, move for 2, and still release a dog for 3. Would we want to release a dog? It might finish the Necro Savant. Or it might occupy this Ancient Legionary. Or it could go for a big flank and go all the way down here and waste his time. Good boy. He missed, but that was the correct choice. Ooh. Slice the Elder may not be long for this world. Same with Helmfried. Okay, so the Chaucer. What's our play here? We can move here and do an attack on the Necro Savant. Does he have enough for another spin? No. Good opportunity for the 3x stab. I don't think that's even going to be enough. On the Palatinus? I don't think so. I think we go here and just do a regular attack on the Necro Savant. No, his swapping partner is Scottaboosh. So then Mystic Nemo and Antiwian will start moving up this way. Or maybe just Mystic Nemo and then Antiwian goes around this way. We can get crowded on this Legionary. I mean, he could swap and then disrespect Zone of Control potentially on the Palatinus. And then he gets 2 attacks. That feels risky though. I think just the single attack is more... Yeah. And I am going to wait on the Chaucer because we may swap with Scottaboosh depending on what we need to do. Actually, he might just die, so I guess there's that. Alright, so the Conqueror is still going to attack Helmfried. That's really bad. So do we just simply riposte? Or do I make this the recover turn? Keep in mind, we do have Nimble. He's not even bleeding yet. Recover seems like death. Yeah, so if we are going to recover, we're going to wait. Yes. Riposte isn't that much defenses. It's 10. No, I'm going to wait into recover. Which is... No, I'm going to wait into recover. I think he can live one more turn. So, Master Maticus. I kind of want to do 2 attacks here. Swap. Dr. Wisniewski attack something, swap back. Instead of riposte on this bro. Or even an attack here. Maybe that's the play. So which way do we want Intuition to go? I guess around this way. And we'll have Mystic Nemo run up this way. Killing that guy opens a spot for the cleaver in the back. So be it. Can't miss those. Wait here. I think we just attack on Plague Bird. No, maybe not. Might wait in to recover on Plague Bird so we can re-shield wall. That was bad. So bad. Banner doesn't even provide that much resolve though. I mean it's like 8. Man, that sucks. Especially like the turn this hit on, they haven't acted yet. All of this AP is wasted. All of this AP is wasted, right? Fossy254 has started the turn with fucking 12, right? He was gonna get a full force hammer that could hit 3 and kill all 3 if it hits. Oh boy. That's not good. That's really bad. Scottaboosh might fall on this turn. Apples and fruits could potentially fall. It's so bad. Regardless, I think the play on Mystic Nemo is take a step up and attack here. And we'll just end turn in the Miasma. It's fine. I'd say our likelihood of winning is extremely minimal. It's not 0. It's not yet 0. But it's very low. We just pull out the banner. And I'm going to save Fatigue to be able to sing next turn. And move in range of Dr. Wisniewski. And step out of the stinky cloud. Try to get the kill on this Palatinus. Or maybe we just go for the Legionary. I'll probably just go for the Legionary. So then we wait. Do the follow-up damage after Intiween hits? I think so. Oh. We don't need follow-up damage. Plague Bird, we're gonna re-shield wall. And as absolutely insane as it seems, what was the chance of moving through zone of control successfully here? Because I want Meta Records to keep his shield up. Oh, he already lost it. Oh, right, because he got Horrify, which makes him drop his shield. I should have... Yeah, that's right. He's not going to be able to re-shield wall. So I shouldn't have shield walled here. Actually, I guess maybe it's still fine. He's still going to be subject to attack. So I guess we just attack. Oh, maybe that was wrong. Dr. Wisniewski. We just kill here. And... so Master Maticus has 4x brace for impact. We're not going to get rid of that. His turn falls between these Praetorians and Honor Guard, which sort of sucks. So we're going to wait so we can double swap. Meta-Wrecker, I guess we wait. Are you... I think Horrify was changed. I mean, I mentioned that earlier, before the fight started. Oh, that's... I don't know, I just go for this attack here. I mean, they're like constantly, they're permanently disabled, basically, at this point. Yeah, proc 9 there. Looking scary. I think we lost. I don't think there's any... I think the chance of victory here is basically 0. Let's at least give Master Maticus his brace for impact. Yeah, bogged down by the shielded Praetorians, yeah. Which I sort of figured we would be, but... Fosti 254 being out, unable to... I mean, honestly, I think the biggest problem is just the Horrify... I think it's been reworked, right? I mean... How do we look up if it's reworked? I don't know, yes, Dark so. He's here, presumably. But it you know, the Horrify hits far more frequently. The horror skill is not changed as far as I know. It's a simple morale check against the target and all adjacent enemies with an additional difficulty of 5. I'm pretty sure something about it is different. It hits way more often than it does in vanilla. I think maybe some of the other things that got refactored does change it. Because it hits way more than it does in vanilla. It just does. Unless I just got extremely lucky, which is possible, right? But I'm pretty sure it's been reworked. No, not really. Not higher resolve than these ones who have been stunned. No. No. The amount that it is, the frequency with which it is stunned, or the probability of it happening, with this resolve, like, no. You can install my morale log mod. It tells you the chances and rolls of the checks. Yeah, I think what Some Weird Sins is saying is correct, right? It does 2 different rolls. Like, it does multiple rolls, and it has to succeed at multiple to actually cause the stun. So I think I suspect it was changed, and it was changed inadvertently. Yeah, that's my guess, is it was changed for just 1 fail as a stun. That's what it feels like. But I knew it was more likely, like I said that before the fight, right? So I mean, if that's how the mod works, that's how the mod works. The fact that we got this far in Monolith is impressive as hell. Well, we'll see how many we can take down. But in the end, the question of, can we do it? The answer? Apparently not. Maybe we needed a real banner for Monolith? Maybe. Yeah. You wonder what would be necessary to get through this? I wonder that as well. I also think that the Necro Savant Lord was able to get in a position where they were able to just do too much. We were subject to too many turns of that Drinky Blood debuff on apples and fruits. Your takeaway is that you focus the damage on the bottom right to break through to the sword lances as fast as possible. Yeah, I think that's probably right. Was the throwing sphere for destroying shields perhaps an option? Yeah. I think so. 23 undead remaining. Not a good showing. Breakthrough perk on the hammers? Yeah, but if the spots behind him are all occupied, it doesn't do any good. And we had onslaught, so it's not like we didn't have a way if we were able to push, but we just weren't. Right, so they have shield mastery. No, they do not have shield mastery. Yeah. Well, we answered our question. Can the team do it? And the answer? No. Alt F4. I made a backup save, as mentioned earlier. I made a backup save before. That was a good suggestion. As the light leaves your world, you hope that perhaps the name of the Intrepid Immortals will live on, and that people will remember what they did. They won't! That's fucking bleak. Holy shit. I don't think I've ever read the text on this screen. Well. I guess that's that. I don't have it in my heart to replay the fight. I don't have it in my heart to replay the fight. But hey, it was a good journey. It was a fun ride. Really fun run. I do, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, I do think Horrify was changed. I think even if it's inadvertent, it's definitely different. But to be fair, as mentioned, I did know that going into it. So yeah, the save is still here. Right? I still got it. I guess I can share it with others if they want it too. If anyone is interested in trying it. You have to have the Fangshire DLC, so I removed the Fangshire, but it won't load unless you have that. But so yeah, I don't know. Pay to win? Yeah, sorry. But I can put it in the Discord if people want to play with it. Gonna validate the prediction, it's 15, right? Yeah, it's 15. It's 15. Not delusional. It's 15. New run? Nah. So do you think the company would win if you tried again? Personally, I think it won't unless you roll with perfect luck or something. So here's what I think is actually the case. Here's my initial take on how I would reapproach the fight with the same squad. I think with the two dynamic duos up top, I would be interested in trying to... No, I don't know. I don't think so either. Well, I don't know. So here was my thought. If I push them more aggressively forward on the first round, because we need the priests to never be able to horrify the main block of units. So we send both dynamic duos up that way and just hold off the enemy for as long as possible. Maybe. You think this fight may be winnable, but you'll need good RNG probably? Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I don't know how else I'd approach it. Also, when I made the backup save, I think that's before I did all the stuff that I did. Yeah, it was right at the beginning of the stream, so can't, I'd have to re-equip stuff. So this bar 2 time? Nah, my heart's not in it. I'm just gonna sit here for a moment and commiserate in sadness and then probably call the stream. But it was fun. Like, it was a really fun crew. I'm not, I say commiserate in sadness. I'm like, the actual end result in this fight does not matter to me. It does matter to me. But it doesn't matter that much. Like, it was a good attempt. Like, I feel good about the attempt. Maybe sacrifice only one dynamic duo and let the other tank the rest of the north flank. Yeah, maybe that's the way to go. Apples and fruits, you're probably right. Have one group run forward as like a major distraction. Gonna pop a drink to the company? I probably will too afterwards. I believed in you until the very start. Is that what you meant to say? Slurgy, would it be okay to ask Battle Brothers questions when you're playing other games? Sure. Maybe as apples and fruits could use the lightning sword. Yeah, and that's the other thing too. We needed, like, I'm curious how bad the luck was, because even though nothing stood out like in previous fights where it's like, oh, we missed a bunch of 95s or something like that. I don't think anything like that happened, but what did happen was some of the crucial attacks, like apples and fruits had, you know, like 12 AP, and then he would do an attack, miss, proc rebuke, all that buildup of fatigue, in addition to him happening to be the one that the Necrolord chose, which lowers his like fatigue recovery. And the fact that then he wasn't able to proc battle flow meant that he was only able to attack once, and like he was going to do a finishing blow every time we had him attack in those early rounds because of the lightning, and then he would get 2 follow-up attacks, or at least 1, and kill an enemy. And I think those just didn't happen, and those are a pretty big deal. An interesting idea might be to have a 2-tank duo that you send to the top. Oh, sure. Like a double dynamic duo. A DDD. A DTDD. A double tank dynamic duo. Maybe that's the way. I do think that dynamic duo giving the initiative and resolve is a pretty big deal. But I actually like, I mean, you know, I just lost the fight, and I'm going to make a controversial statement. I like how it is. I think it should be hard as hell. I think it's good that it's hard. I do think Horrify is bugged. And I think the team actually, if we hadn't have had that catastrophic, maybe round 5 or whatever round that was, the one where the Horrify hit the whole main body of the squad, if that hadn't have happened, maybe we'd be fine. Maybe I should have prioritized simply, like on that turn, moved down and attacked with the whip. But maybe better would have been pull out the loot, play a little ditty, and then pull out the banner. And maybe that was more important. I did bring the loot specifically saying that the priest horrify was the thing I was most afraid of, but then I didn't act on it. Will there be a battle brawl to follow? Maybe. What I want to do for a battle brawl, let me play with the tools that are there. I want to be able to create an ability for people to like, maybe it's too much work, but I'd love to be able to add a little more customization where people can have like AI controlled merc units or something, where you're able to like equip them. So I could maybe create a save, use like BB Edit or something, which don't really have any experience with, but you can give items in the inventory, right? I'm assuming. If you can, I could just like create like a template of like a certain, here's a squad that you can use as a template. Here's a bunch of like level X bros. I put a bunch of equipment in the inventory and then I let people equip them and then send me their save files. And I think there's a way in the combat sim to do something with that. I think that would be interesting. That's where I'd like to take it. I just don't know if the tech is there. Missed the fight. This doesn't look good. Yeah, it doesn't look good. And yeah, Fosty254 was literally stun locked with 12 AP for like 3 turns. And he's our biggest damage dealer. I mean, he's able to kill 3 skeletons in 1 attack with 12 AP. So maybe a battle brawl with like a King of the Hill map in the middle would be cool. Yeah, we don't have control over the map gen. There's an item spawner mod, which is probably better for that. Oh, okay. In any case, if I can create like a canned save file for people to mess with, that would be the way to go. Blank slate brothers that they can pick the perks and whatever. Could be interesting. So yeah, I mean, I like the idea. I'd have to play with what's possible in the mod, in the combat sim mod, because you can spawn in. The problem is, I think you can spawn in like your save file, but I don't know how to get a different save file on the other team. I don't know if that's possible yet. I think there was ambitions of making that possible, but I don't know if it's possible right now. Battle brawl where you create a super strong team and we go against it. Like this one. So I guess my question is, so one follow-up question I do have is, would people be interested in seeing me attempt that fight again with the backed up save file? Not right now, but maybe tomorrow with different approaches to see if it's possible. You would 100%, knowing that officially we failed, which is fine. But like, I'm not, this isn't like the Alt F4 to undo the fight. This is the hypothetical, you know, separate divergent timeline. You'd be interested to see the limit testing on that fight? Yes. What's the alternatives? No stream? Yeah, I guess. Apples and Fruit says, nah, I like leaving it there, which I think is also valid, right? It's the true conclusion. Why play with the what ifs? Sir, this is a roguelike. If anything, it's useful to inform us on the next attempt. Maybe. Cool either way. Yeah, I mean, I think the alternative would be I'd just play Slay the Spire 2 tomorrow. Yes, YouTube is so far behind. Oh, is it? Okay. A run back is less stress, more data collection, sure. With better luck, it could have gone much differently. Yeah, I mean, Fosty254 getting stunned as he did was kind of a disaster. So, yeah. And actually what I can do, why don't I do it just so people have it? Because why not? Oh. Okay, yeah, I was looking in the wrong folder. I'm like, shit, the save file's gone. I will actually put it in the Discord, in the Battle Brothers Reforged channel. So if you'd like to, again, you have to have the Fangshire DLC enabled, otherwise it'll give you an error when you try to load it. But if people want to try it, they can. Slurgy, I've got the combat simulator open right now, and Horrify is 30 out of 30 succeeding on Anointed Knights with 123 resolve. Okay. Wabakishko, thank you for that information. That sure sounds like a bug. That sure sounds like it's bugged then. I think it must be. I think it must be. I knew it seemed more likely. That seems insane. Yeah, I beat it Lucid Tavi on the Dawnforged Champions. It was the final fight of that run. Horrify was indeed bugged in the past, specifically in Hardened to always succeed, but I did do a fix for it back then. Guess I have to revisit that one. That'd be my guess. All right, so let's say, all right, I'm gonna throw out a hypothetical. Let's say it is bugged, and it truly is 100%, because I didn't think it was that. If it is truly bugged to be 100%, or nearly 100%, maybe 95 or whatever, I want to redo the fight without that in place, just because. Whatever. I don't care. I'm curious though. If it's bugged, we should do a mulligan. I mean, if it's bugged, I want to know what it would be like if we didn't have the bug. So, but I mean, again, this is all just like personal, whatever. Wanted to see if it was possible. And with the game as it currently is, playing with it, play it as it lies, failed. So. That's what I'm going to call it. But I am curious. I do think it's probably... probably bugged. But that's all right. So, if it's 100%, I'm not sure any team could win. Right, I agree. I think if it's truly 100%, then... Or even maybe it's 95. Let's say it's, 95, then I think, yeah. Fulio, thank you for the gift subs. Very much appreciated. Very much appreciated. Also, one of the people who got a gift sub's name is Genghis Karen? That is a great username. Holy shit. That's a great username. That's a great username. Genghis Karen, golf clap to you if you're paying attention. Good lord, that's a great username. All right. I'm outie. I'm out. I'm going to send you guys over to Ash Gaming Tales, who is picking up where I left off with the Anatomist attempt in vanilla, way back in the day. So, it looks extremely likely from the code that you accidentally reintroduced that same bug. Okay. More discussions on the Discord on exactly what I want to do, but I made a backup save. So I might, as a hypothetical, I may redo the fight in the future on stream with that bug fixed for, I don't know, posterity. Because I am curious. Because that feels a little, I just want to know. So, that's what I'm going to call it. I'll be back tomorrow, regardless, for something. So, controlling the Ancient Priest shows 100% hit chance. All right. Thank you, Wabakishko. I appreciate that testing. I really do. Wabakishko, a Battle Brawl legend, has always made good teams. So, that's what I'm going to call it. And so, to all of you, wherever you are in the world, make it a good one. It wasn't the run, but it was a hell of a ride. Ta-ta.